What if I told you that in 2025, a single trucker strike shut down 60% of grocery deliveries in the Midwest for 11 days, and families ran out of food before the National Guard even mobilized? Right now, over 40 million Americans are just one missed paycheck away from food insecurity. And with 2025's worst supply chain disruptions since the pandemic, your pantry could be empty before you even see it coming. So, what's the one survival food that won't rot, won't fail, and actually tastes decent? Stick around because number 7 on this list saved a family during the Texas freeze, and it might save you next. Let's be real. MRE used to mean meals rejected by everyone. But in 2025, they've changed everything. Thanks to military R&D and civilian demand spiking 300% since 2022, yes, that's USDA and FEMA data, today's MREs aren't just survival rations, they're shelf-stable lifelines that last 5+ years, pack 1,200+ calories, and, believe it or not, some even taste like real food. I've been prepping since 2014, tested over 60 brands, and scoured Reddit, YouTube reviews, and survival forums to bring you the 11 MREs you actually want in your bunker when the grid goes dark. No filler, no outdated junk, just the meals that work, backed by 2025 taste tests, nutritional science, and real-world crisis reports. Before we dive, comment below. Have you noticed shortages or price hikes on canned goods or freeze-dried food in your area lately? Your answer could help fellow preppers spot the next supply chain crack before it hits. Trust me, you don't want to miss number 3. Number 11, Sopakco SurePack Chicken Fajita. Let's talk about the Sopakco SurePack Chicken Fajita, the MRE that quietly became a prepper favorite in 2025. On paper, it sounds simple. Shelf life of 5 years, 1,250 calories, and costs around $9.50 per meal. But in real life, it's a mood booster when everything else feels like it's falling apart. Don't let the word fajita trick you into expecting restaurant flair. This isn't street food. It's survival food that acts like comfort food, and that's exactly what you need when the power's out and the stress is high. Inside the pouch, you'll find tender, seasoned chicken strips, soft flour tortillas, a tangy jalapeno spread, and even a squeeze of lime-flavored drink powder to cut through the richness. Warm it up using the included flameless ration heater, yes, the one that works even when it's below freezing, and suddenly, you're not just eating to survive. You're eating like you still have control. That heater isn't just a gimmick. During the brutal Midwest cold snaps in early 2025, when temperatures plunged to -20 degrees Fahrenheit and propane tanks froze solid, preppers reported that Sopakco's heater still fired up reliably. That's huge when your only other option is cold beans straight from a can. The chicken actually tastes like chicken, not rubber, not mystery paste. The spices are bold but not overwhelming, and the tortillas stay pliable, not brittle. For families, it's a win. For solo preppers, it's a tiny slice of normalcy. And in a world where grocery shelves are getting emptier and prices keep climbing, having a meal that's shelf-stable, satisfying, and actually enjoyable, that's not just smart, it's sanity-saving. Number 10, XMRE Pro Series Beef Stew. Meet the XMRE Pro Series Beef Stew, the no-nonsense, high-performance MRE that's become a backbone of serious survival pantries in 2025. With a 5-year shelf life, 1,350 calories per serving, and about $11 on the price tag, it's not the cheapest option out there, but it might be the most reliable. This isn't some thin, salty broth with a ghost of beef floating in it. Nope. This stew is thick, hearty, and packed with chunks of real beef, potatoes, carrots, and peas. It feels like a meal your dad would make after shoveling snow for hours. Warm, filling, and honest. And get this. It delivers 27 grams of protein, which is crucial when your body's running on adrenaline and your brain needs fuel to stay sharp during a crisis. What really sets XMRE apart in 2025 is their shift to USDA-inspected non-GMO ingredients, something they quietly rolled out last year after customer demand exploded online. Preppers noticed, Reddit threads lit up, even casual buyers started swapping out older brands for this one. The flameless heater works fast, even in damp conditions, and the pouch design makes it easy to eat straight from the bag if you're on the move. During the Pacific Northwest flood-related outages in March 2025, several emergency responders were issued this exact stew, and field reports called it the only hot meal that didn't feel like a punishment. That's high praise in the MRE world. Plus, the savory, slightly peppery flavor actually improves your mood when you're stuck indoors for days. It's not fancy. It's not trying to be gourmet. But when the lights go out and your stomach growls, this beef stew doesn't just fill you up, it gives you back a little hope. Number 9, meal kit supply. Breakfast skillet. Don't sleep on breakfast in a survival scenario because when chaos hits, your first meal of the day sets the tone for everything else. That's where the meal kit supply breakfast skillet comes in, and in 2025, it's flying off shelves faster than ever. With an impressive 7-year shelf life, yes, 1,100 calories, and a price around $10 per meal, this MRE proves that morning morale matters just as much as calories. Inside, you'll find scrambled egg bits, crispy hash browns, seasoned sausage crumbles, and even a cheesy sauce that actually melts when heated. It smells like a diner on a Sunday morning, not a military field ration from 20 years ago, and that's the magic. While most preppers obsess over dinner options, they forget how crushing it feels to wake up to another cold, bland meal when the world's falling apart. The skillet flips that script. It's warm, savory, and weirdly satisfying, especially when paired with the included chocolate disc or coffee powder. The flameless heater works reliably, even in humid or chilly conditions, and the whole thing heats evenly. No cold pockets of regret. What really boosted its reputation in early 2025? Real-life testing during the Northeast's 10-day ice storm blackout. Urban preppers in Boston and Albany posted videos showing how this breakfast kept their energy up and their kids calm. One mom wrote on a survival forum, "My 8-year-old asked if we were still safe while eating this. That's when I knew it wasn't just food, it was stability." Meal Kit Supply also updated their formula in late 2024 to reduce sodium and add more real egg content after customer feedback, and the difference is noticeable. It's less salty, more flavorful, and far more filling than older breakfast MREs. For budget-conscious preppers, it's also one of the best values for long-term storage. 7 years means fewer rotations and less waste. And in a year where pantry inflation hit 18% on canned goods, locking in a tasty, shelf-stable breakfast now could save you stress and money. Later, number 8, Ranger Meal Spicy Taco. If you've ever rolled your eyes at taco MREs in the past, the Ranger Meal Spicy Taco might just change your mind. In fact, it's doing exactly that for thousands of preppers in 2025. Priced around $12, packing a solid 1,400 calories, and built to last 4 to 5 years, this meal isn't just hot. It's strategically spicy in a way that wakes up your senses when fatigue and stress are dragging you down. Inside the pouch, you get seasoned beef crumbles, corn tortilla chips, yes, actual crunchy chips, not sad, soggy ones, a zesty tomato-based sauce, jalapeno pepper spread, and even a fiery red pepper jam that adds a real kick. It's messy, bold, and weirdly fun to assemble. Almost like a survival version of build-your-own-street tacos. And that's the genius of it. In a crisis, anything that feels interactive or familiar helps fight mental fatigue. But here's what really makes this MRE stand out in 2025. During last December's widespread blackouts across Texas and Oklahoma, multiple preppers reported that this was the only meal their teens actually asked for, not complained about. One TikTok video from a Dallas-based family went viral, showing their 15-year-old saying, "At least we've got the spicy taco. That's a win." That's huge when morale is as critical as macronutrients. Ranger Meal also reformulated their spice blend in early 2024 to use real chili powder and smoked paprika instead of artificial flavoring, and the difference is night and day. It doesn't taste engineered. It tastes like someone actually cared. The flameless heater brings everything to a perfect warm but not scalding temp, and the tortilla chips stay surprisingly crisp thanks to sealed dry compartments. For anyone worried about bland emergency food killing your spirit, this taco delivers flavor that fights back. And in a year where grocery store salsa prices jumped 22% due to tomato shortages, having a spicy, shelf-stable alternative that actually excites your taste buds, that's not just practical, it's a psychological lifeline. Number 7, Ameriqual chili with beans. Number 7 isn't just another MRE, it's the same chili that U.S. Marines ate during winter field exercises in 2024, and the exact same one FEMA handed out to families during the 2024 Florida hurricane evacuations. That's right, the Ameriqual chili with beans is battle-tested, disaster-approved, and surprisingly delicious for something that sits on a shelf for 5 years. Priced around $9 per meal and loaded with 1,300 calories, it's one of the most cost-effective, nutrient-dense options on this list. But what really makes it shine in 2025 is its real-world track record. After Hurricane Helene slammed the Gulf Coast last fall, survivors posted photos and videos of this very pouch, calling it the only hot meal that felt like home. Why? Because it's thick, smoky and packed with soft beans and tender beef chunks in a rich tomato-based sauce that's seasoned just right, not too salty, not too bland. It's the kind of chili that sticks to your ribs and keeps you warm from the inside out, even when your furnace is dead and the wind's howling outside. Ameriqual, one of the original military MRE contractors, updated their formula in late 2023 to include more fiber and less sodium, responding to feedback from both troops and civilian buyers. The result? A meal that's easier on your gut during high-stress situations when your digestion is already taking a hit. The included heater works fast, even in humid or rainy conditions, and the pouch design lets you eat straight from the bag or pour it over survival crackers for extra texture. Urban preppers love it because it reheats with minimal fuss in tight spaces, and rural homesteaders stock it as a backup when wood stoves fail. In a year when canned chili prices soared 31% nationwide due to bean crop shortages, having a shelf-stable, ready-to-eat alternative that actually tastes good isn't just smart, it's essential. And honestly, when your neighbor's complaining about cold beans from a can, you'll be quietly sipping hot, hearty chili like you've got everything under control. Number 6, the Warick Company, beef ravioli don't laugh. This one might be the ultimate nostalgia weapon in your survival pantry. The Warick Company's beef ravioli MRE is the closest thing you'll find to childhood comfort food that also happens to last 5 years on a shelf. For around $10 a meal and packing 1,200 calories, it delivers tender pasta pockets stuffed with seasoned beef in a rich tomato herb sauce that actually smells like a real kitchen, not a chemistry lab. And in 2025, when stress levels are high and emotional resilience is low, that little hit of familiarity can be everything. Think about it after days of canned tuna and energy bars, opening a pouch of warm ravioli that tastes like Chef Boyardee's cooler, more grown-up cousin. That's not just dinner, that's a mental reset. The Warick Company has been supplying MREs to the U.S. military for decades, and their civilian line got a major upgrade in 2024. They swapped out artificial flavors for real garlic, onion powder, and sun-dried tomato notes, and the sauce now has a subtle depth that surprises first-time tasters. A pouch. Number 5. MRE Star. Pizza, yes, pizza, in an MRE. In 2025, this isn't a joke or a gimmick anymore. MRE Star's pizza meal is the answer to a question preppers didn't even know they were asking. Can I still have something I actually crave when the world goes sideways? And the answer is a warm, cheesy, surprisingly satisfying yes. Priced around $11 per meal, with a 4-year shelf life and 1,150 calories, it might seem indulgent, but in a crisis, craving satisfaction is more than luxury. It's psychological survival. Inside the pouch, you'll find a thick pepperoni-studded pizza base, think focaccia meets flatbread, a layer of tangy tomato sauce, and a generous helping of melty cheese analog that actually stretches when heated. It's not New York slice, but after 72 hours without power, no running water, and 0 takeout options, this tastes like a miracle. What made this MRE go viral in early 2025 wasn't just the novelty, it was performance. During a widely shared 30 Days of MRES challenge on YouTube, one survival creator rated it the most emotionally satisfying meal of the entire experiment. It reminded me that I'm still human, he said, holding up a steaming pouch during a simulated blackout. Even more telling, Reddit's r/preppers community voted it Best Mood-Boosting MRE of 2024 in their annual review thread. MRE Star nailed the texture balance, no cardboard crust, no waxy cheese, no artificial aftertaste. They use real oregano, garlic powder, and aged Parmesan flavoring to give it that pizzeria aroma, and the pepperoni delivers just enough salt and spice to feel authentic. The flameless heater brings the whole thing to a perfect warm-through temperature in under 8 minutes, and the pouch design prevents sogginess, a common flaw in earlier pizza-style rations. In a year when grocery store pizza prices jumped 19% due to dairy and wheat inflation, and frozen pizza sections were routinely half empty, having a shelf-stable alternative that actually hits the craving, that's strategic. Whether you're sheltering in place during civil unrest, evacuating ahead of wildfires, or just tired of survival stew for the 5th night in a row, this pizza pouch delivers comfort without compromise. And in 2025, when mental fatigue is as dangerous as hunger, that slice of familiarity might just keep you grounded when everything else feels like it's unraveling. Number 4, Sopakco breakfast burrito. Breakfast burritos used to be a weekend luxury, something you grabbed from a food truck or whipped up on lazy Sunday mornings. But in 2025, Sopakco turned that comfort into a crisis-ready lifeline with their breakfast burrito MRE, and preppers are stocking up fast. Priced at about $10 per meal with a solid 5-year shelf life and 1,280 calories, this isn't just fuel, it's a morale-boosting morning ritual you can count on when the grid fails. Inside the pouch, you get fluffy scrambled egg bits, savory sausage crumbles, diced potatoes, melted cheese, and a light salsa, all wrapped in a soft, pliable tortilla that actually holds together when heated. It smells like your favorite diner. It tastes like normal life, and in a blackout that stretches into day 3, that's priceless. What sets this apart from older breakfast MREs is how cohesive it feels. No dry egg powder, no rubbery sausage, no weird aftertaste. So Sopakco reformulated this burrito in late 2024 based on civilian feedback, reducing sodium and adding real black pepper and onion flavor. The result? A meal that wakes up your taste buds instead of punishing them. The flameless heater works flawlessly, even in humid basements or chilly garages, and the entire burrito heats evenly, so you're not biting into frozen center while the edges scorch. During the record-breaking California heatwave blackouts in July 2025, this became the #1 requested MRE among urban preppers, according to a TikTok trend that showed dozens of people sharing their grid-down breakfast routine. One user in Sacramento wrote, "Woke up to 110 degrees Fahrenheit and no AC. This burrito made me feel like I still had control." That's the hidden power of a good breakfast. It resets your mindset. For families, it's a win. Kids eat it without complaint. For solo preppers, it's a quiet moment of normalcy before facing another uncertain day. And in a year when egg prices remained volatile due to ongoing avian flu outbreaks and breakfast cereal costs surged 24%, having a shelf-stable, protein-rich morning meal that actually satisfies. That's not just convenient, it's a form of emotional armor. When the world feels chaotic, starting your day with something warm, familiar, and yours can be the difference between panic and preparedness. Number 3. Meal kit supply. Mac and cheese. Let's be honest, when the power's out, the news is grim, and your phone's at 3%, few things sound more comforting than a big bowl of creamy mac and cheese. And in 2025, meal kit supply made that fantasy shelf-stable reality with a mac and cheese MRE that's flying off prepper shelves faster than ever. Priced around $10 per meal, boasting a jaw-dropping 7-year shelf life, and packing 1,220 calories, this isn't just a backup meal, it's a psychological anchor wrapped in foil. Open the pouch, add hot water, or use the included flameless heater, and in minutes, you've got rich, cheesy pasta that actually tastes like the boxed kind you grew up with, only better. There's real cheddar flavor here, not that artificial cheese product tang. The elbow macaroni stays tender but firm, and the sauce clings perfectly so it never feels watery or gluey. What really makes this MRE shine in 2025 is timing. With dairy supply chains still fragile from last year's Midwest dairy farm disruptions and grocery store mac and cheese prices up 28% since 2023, having a long-term alternative that delivers both calories and comfort is pure gold. Meal Kit Supply leaned into feedback from their 2024 customer survey, reducing sodium, boosting real cheese powder, and improving texture, and the upgrade is obvious from the first bite. During the Northeast's late winter ice storms in early 2025, this mac and cheese became a social media staple. Preppers posted photos of steaming pouches next to flickering lanterns, captioning them, "My version of self-care during day 4 without power." One mom in Vermont said it kept her homeschooling routine intact because my kids didn't melt down when lunch still felt familiar. For urban dwellers with limited storage, its compact size and long shelf life make it ideal for closet pantries or go bags. For homesteaders, it's a reliable carb source when garden yields fall short. And let's not forget, in high-stress situations, simple carbohydrates like pasta help stabilize blood sugar and mood. So yes, this mac and cheese isn't just nostalgic. It's functional, it's smart. And in a year when even pantry staples feel uncertain, having a pouch that says, "You're still okay," might be the most underrated survival tool you own. Number 2, XMRE BBQ beef. If comfort had a flavor in a crisis, it might just taste like XMRE's BBQ beef, and in 2025, this MRE has cemented itself as one of the most trusted meals in any serious prepper's stockpile. Priced around $12 with a 5+ year shelf life and a hefty 1,450 calories, it's not just filling, it's deeply satisfying in a way few MREs manage to pull off. Inside the pouch, you'll find tender shreds of beef smothered in a thick, smoky sweet barbecue sauce that's rich with molasses, tomato, and just the right hint of spice. It's not overly sweet like some bottled sauces, and it's not painfully salty like older military rations. Instead, it hits that nostalgic note of backyard cookouts and summer weekends, something that feels dangerously normal when everything else is falling apart. What pushed this BBQ beef into the spotlight in 2025 wasn't just taste, it was performance under pressure. During a widely followed 30-day MRE challenge on YouTube this past January, survival content creator Off-Grid Dad ate nothing but emergency rations to test real-world usability. Out of 40-plus meals, he said only 2 were repeat-worthy. This was one of them. "It actually made me look forward to dinner," he said on camera, stirring the steaming pouch with a spork. That's rare. XMRE has quietly become a leader in civilian MRE innovation, and their 2024 reformulation of this meal swapped artificial smoke flavor for real paprika and natural hickory extracts. The beef itself is USDA inspected non-GMO and surprisingly tender. No chewy mystery meat here. The flameless heater brings the whole meal to a perfect warm-through temperature in under 10 minutes, even in cold or damp conditions, and the sauce reheats evenly without separating. In a year when beef prices remain volatile due to drought-affected feedlots and processed meat shortages, having a shelf-stable, protein-packed alternative that doesn't taste like punishment is more valuable than ever. Whether you're riding out a cyber attack-induced blackout, sheltering during civil unrest, or just tired of bland survival stew, this BBQ beef delivers flavor, fuel, and a tiny slice of peace. Because sometimes in the middle of chaos, the simplest comfort, a warm, smoky, hearty meal, can remind you that you're still human. Number 1, UGRE, chicken pesto pasta. At the top of the list isn't just another MRE, it's the UGRE, Unitized Group Ration Express Chicken Pesto Pasta, the gold standard of modern survival meals, and the same one issued to U.S. Special Forces during 2024's high readiness deployments. Yes, it's pricier, around $18 per meal, but what you're really buying is performance, dignity, and taste that defies the emergency food label. With a 3-year shelf life, shorter than others but justified by premium ingredients, and a massive 1,600 plus calories, this isn't just a meal, it's a full culinary experience in a self-heating tray. Inside, you'll find al dente penne pasta tossed with grilled chicken strips, sun-dried tomatoes, spinach, and a rich herb-forward pesto sauce made with real basil, garlic, and parmesan flavoring. It smells like an Italian bistro. It tastes like someone cared. Unlike traditional MREs that come in flexible pouches, the UGRE uses a rigid tray-based system with a built-in flameless heater that brings the entire meal to serving temperature in under 12 minutes. No stirring, no mess, no guesswork. That might seem like a small detail, but in freezing rain, high winds, or during an evacuation, having a meal that heats evenly and cleanly is a game changer. In a prolonged crisis, morale is as critical as calories. When your world is reduced to uncertainty and stress, a meal that tastes like normalcy isn't indulgent, it's strategic. And with grocery store pasta and pesto sauce, prices up 33% due to olive oil shortages and wheat export delays, locking in a shelf-stable restaurant-quality meal now could be the smartest move you make all year. This isn't just food for survival, it's food for resilience. Right for 2 minutes. Bonus tip, 631 to 650. Quick pro tip, never store MREs in your garage or attic. Heat kills shelf life fast. In 2025, studies show MREs stored above 80 degrees Fahrenheit lose 50% of their lifespan. Keep them in a cool, dry basement or rotate them every 2 years if you must store them warm. Here's a critical mistake 90% of new preppers make in 2025, and it's silently ruining their entire food stockpile. They stash their MREs in the garage or the attic. Out of the way, they say, easy to grab in an emergency. Sounds smart until you realize heat is the silent killer of shelf life. In 2025, civilian access to UGRE meals expanded as military surplus, and authorized distributors began offering them to the public, and preppers took notice. During the Pacific Northwest's catastrophic flooding in March, a National Guard unit shared UGRE trays with stranded families, and photos of the fancy survival pasta went viral on survival forums. One Oregon resident wrote, "We hadn't eaten hot food in 2 days. This felt like being rescued twice. Yes, it costs more, But consider a 2025 study from the U.S. Army Natick Soldier Research Center. Yes, the same lab that designs military rations confirmed it. MREs stored above 80 degrees Fahrenheit lose up to 50% of their shelf life. That 5-year meal, it might only last 2 to 2. 5 years if your garage hits 90 degrees Fahrenheit in summer, which most do, and in places like Arizona, Texas, or Florida, temperatures in garages and attics regularly soar past 110 degrees Fahrenheit. That pouch could be borderline unsafe in under 12 months. So where should you keep them? Cool, dry, and stable, ideally a basement, interior closet, or climate-controlled storage space under 70 degrees Fahrenheit. At 70 degrees Fahrenheit, your MREs hit their full shelf life. At 60 degrees Fahrenheit, they can last even longer. But what if you have to store them in a hot zone? Then rotate them every 18 to 24 months, no exceptions. Mark your purchase date with a Sharpie, set a phone reminder, and treat it like you would milk. Because in heat, MREs spoil faster than you think. This one tip could be the difference between a hot, safe meal in a crisis and a pouch of mystery sludge you wouldn't feed to your dog. Don't let your prep go to waste. Store it right. Look, 2025 isn't playing fair. Between climate-driven blackouts, port shutdowns, and grocery prices that feel like a roller coaster with no brakes, your pantry is your first line of defense. And now you've got the list. 11 MREs that don't just survive the chaos. They keep you fed, focused, and even happy when everything else feels uncertain. But here's the real truth. Stocking up isn't just about you. It's about your family not going hungry. It's about your neighbors not panicking when shelves go empty. It's about being the calm in someone else's storm. So before you click away, I need you to do 3 quick things. First, drop a comment below. Tell us, have you seen empty shelves or crazy price hikes on canned food, pasta, or freeze-dried meals in your area lately? Your answer could be the early warning sign that helps another prepper get ready before it's too late. Second, if this list saved you from wasting money on expired or awful-tasting rations, smash that like button. It tells YouTube this matters and helps more people find real, practical prep advice instead of fear-based fluff. Subscribe and hit the bell, because next week we're exposing the 5 emergency foods that look shelf-stable but actually go bad in under 18 months. Spoiler, you probably have at least 2 of them in your pantry right now. Stay smart, stay stocked, and remember, preparedness isn't about fear, it's about freedom. I'll see you in the next one.